Shakeletti love. This is love when I wanna get another one. I go take and do waiting I love. Waiting you love, oh. Maybe waiting I love, oh. Waiting I love, I go do what we love, I go. Go no be vodka. This time I need ginger. But when I know the waste time.
You've been gone, it's an empty home. Come on back where you really belong. You are always welcome home, welcome home. You've been kept down for much too long. Stand up, please, and say I am free. Don't forget you are welcome home, welcome home. Come with me on this happy trip back to the promised land. On this happy trip back to the promised land.
Welcome back, and this is Conversation Beyond Borders, where every conversation matters and every voice has the power to inspire change. I am Kiki, and today's program we will be discussing three major issues currently shaping conversations among Ghanaians, both home and abroad. Before we dive into that, can you please subscribe and tell a friend to tell a friend that we are live on HYT African TV, and we are streaming across all social media platforms, including my personal page, Kiki Mami Ikia Aite. So most of the major issues that is causing a bit of confusion and trend in Ghana has to do with the recent flooding. The fact that there are several communities have been affected in Ghana, and it is really raising concerns about the urban planning, the drainage system, and also disaster preparedness. We will also examine the current state of the Black Stars and what the future holds for Ghanaian football. And finally, we will turn our attention to the NDC UK and Ireland branch election, its significance, and what members can expect in the moment ahead. Before I introduce my guests for today, let's go for a quick commercial break and we will be right back. Stay with me.
Every Black person should please remember that you were Africans before you became anything else.
Revolve is a media technology company that specializes in providing music, entertainment, and lifestyle content from around the world. It is driven by a mission to offer the best music, entertainment, and lifestyle experiences for a global audience, as well as a vision to become the foremost global provider of music and entertainment content with a focus on Africa and Black communities across the world. We curate content and personalized recommendations based on user consumption habits, and is well positioned to capture the growing demand for African music and entertainment content. Revolve appeals to both the underground and mainstream audiences who are interested in African music, entertainment and lifestyle, and the Black culture movement, with a target audience of ambitious, creative, aspirational, social media savvy, ethical, sociable, yet independently minded individuals. Our platforms allow users to access a diverse range of music and lifestyle related content, including news, videos, gossip, performance series, podcast conversations, documentaries, festival content, artist reviews, and many more through the following categories and brand names: RV Daily, RV Unmute, Vibes Up, Reveal, Verve, and Revolve Plus.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us. Joining us to share his perspective on these important issues, we welcome and we are thrilled to have Mr. Togbi Kudo, the South London organizer. I'm sorry if I mentioned your name wrongly, but you are welcome to Conversation Beyond Borders, and I stand to be corrected with the pronunciation of your name.
Hi, Kiki.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello? Okay, dear viewers, looks like we're facing a little bit of technical challenges here. Hello, Mr. Togo, can you hear me? Hello, sir, can you hear me? Okay, we will go for a quick commercial break, and when we come back, hopefully, we'll get hold of Mr. Kudo.
That dream of studying and working abroad has been made much accessible to everyone, including you. So worry less about how you're going to get there, because we always make it happen. This is StepFinders Ghana Limited. We offer a highly professional guidance and support system, both in your university and visa application process. StepFinders Ghana Limited is a highly trusted agency of the University of the West of Scotland, one of the largest modern universities offering a range of academic, social, and sporting facilities. You can apply for undergraduate, master's and PhD in business and creative industries, education, social sciences, computing, engineering, physical sciences, health, and life sciences. Come through StepFinders, and for your studies, you get yourself a laptop or a £500 gift voucher. Call on +233 598 4888 04. WhatsApp on +44 7404 711 049. Send us an email or visit our website for more information.
Thanks for staying with me, and welcome back. Hello, Mr. Kudo, can you hear me? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me? I can hear you loud and clear.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me? I can hear you.
You've been gone, it's an empty home. Come on back where you really belong. You are always welcome home, welcome home. You've been kept down for much too long. Stand up, please, and say I am free. Don't forget you are welcome home, welcome home. Come with me on this happy trip back to the promised land. On this happy trip back to the
back on the screen.
That dream of studying and working abroad has been made much accessible to everyone.
Hello? You're on mute. You're on mute, so you wouldn't be able to, I wouldn't be able to hear you. Right. Can you hear me? Hello?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Wɔ afe biara mu no, nnipa mpempem a ɛwɔ akwan Wɔ afe biara mu no, nnipa mpempem a ɛwɔ akwantuom ɛma ne sika bɛfie bɛyɛ nneɛma bi te sɛ adansie, ayaresa ho ka, adesua ho ka, efie sikatua, awareɛ ho ka, ɛna eyie ɛne deɛ keka ho. Nanso, ɔhaw kɛse a ɛwɔ wei mu nie. Kwan bɛn so na wofa ho no sɛ botaeɛ nti a woma ne sika no, yɛde sɛ woma ne sika afa obi so de di saa adwuma wei nom no taa yɛ ayɛmhyehyeɛ paa. Ɛtɔ da ɛkyɛ na ahotosoɔ biara ɛnni so. Wei enti na Pay Angel ɛde nhyehyɛeɛ sononko aba sikamanneɛ mu a yɛto ne din Direct to Merchant Remittance. Yɛtwa ne tia D2MR. Wei yɛ kwampa a wobɛtumi afa so ama ne sika ɛde ama ndwumako a wo ne wɔn di dwuma. Wɔ abra ɛmfa ɔdasani anaa ntamgyinani biara nsɛm na wakɔdi wo sika. Wobɛtumi afa D2MR so ama ne sika ama wadɔfoɔ. Saa nhyehyɛeɛ yi so boa ndwumako nketewa no paa. Wɔ D2MR so no, wo sikatua yɛ mprempren. Yɛngye wo hwee. Yɛma wo abotayam sɛ wo sika ɛrekɔ bea a ɛwɔ sɛ ɛkɔ na ɛkɔdi dwuma a ɛwɔ sɛ ɛdi. Pay Angel D2MR aba ma sikamania ayɛ mmerɛmmerɛ ɛsiane sɛ ɛmfa ho biam ne bea a wowɔ anaa adwumako a wo ne ɔmo di nsa wɔ so no ɛwɔ. Yɛyi ntamgyinafoɔ nyinaa firi hɔ na yɛama wadi dwa na wamma ne sika ntɛm so ne ahotɔsoɔ mu. Hwehwɛ Pay Angel akyiri akwan ɛwɔ Google Play Store anaa Apple Store. Tua ma ɔmo direct. Ne ka sɛ Pay Angel a na wagye so sɛ global payments, local simplicity.
After a long day at work, there's one thing still on your mind. I need to send money home, and fast. With just one tap on the Pay Angel app, you
Ebusia, sa wo mani sika efi America memu akofie de enka ni se gya otipa ye kra. If you say Pay Angel e dia sem panaba. Pay Angel se mani sika fi America eko Ghana, Nigeria anase Kenya wasemantem. Ye mani je ni kaso nkokwa ne se obreju me bia enka ho e na won san tua sika biara eka dia wo mani ne pe ho. Ani zero stress and no hidden charges. Yes, sign our rater and dance ankasa. Into what trend download the Pay Angel app on or Google Play Store and as Apple Store. Then yes, come on your Pay Angel, global payments, local simplicity.
Yes. Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Loud and clear. Thank you for joining us this evening. It's a pleasure to have you and welcome to Conversation Beyond Borders.
Thank you so much for having me as well. It's an honor to be here.
Right. I can see you're still wearing your Ghana jersey.
We have to stand together through thick and thin. You know, we're not only
What
here for the
happened?
slogan.
What happened to us?
We had an unfortunate journey with this World Cup, but our boys seem dedicated enough, and we will stick with them. It goes beyond this competition if we're trying to get back into our glory days. So what we would hope is that we'll stick together through this downtime, and then we'll rebuild for the future. This tournament is over, but there's a lot of tournaments ahead of us, and team building and winning or staying at the top does not start with one day.
Yeah, but for a decade, Ghana was regarded, as one of the African's football powerhouses. We had the Black Stars winning 4 African Cup of Nations and produced, world-class players like Abedi Pele and Michael Essien. And so Ghana has a rich history when it comes to football. And so this tournament, Ghanaians were expecting excellency from the national team. But would you say that the Ghana football has declined over the years, or has the rest of the football world really simply developed a faster pace than we have?
No, I would not say that the world has developed faster than we have. I would say that the level or quality of football in the country has declined significantly over the years. I say this, and maybe we need to look at our past decade and probably beyond. The football locally is not what it is anymore. The interest, how it's managed, it is a collective act to put people together for a national team, but you do this through the pool of resources available. The national team performance might not have been excellent, but to even say that we're expecting excellence is just from the sentimental side. The work that went in leading up to the time was a bit hurried. Now, prior to all of this, the previous AFCON, we didn't even take part in it because we couldn't make it. So there has been a quick turnaround where there has been injection into the team and attempting to make it work, which cannot compare to remaining consistent. The struggles of the Black Stars that was once a continental powerhouse has really suffered. If you look locally, the competitions, the attendance at stadiums, school level football, it goes beyond that. We'll go 20, 30 years back where all schools were playing everybody. There was regional competitions, there was competition among the services. So there was always that hunger to be at the top wherever you are. And it's not the same anymore. We look back at, the expose that involved Ghana with our FIFA rep in a very unfortunate manner that Anas Arimeyao did. After that, there has been a huge blowback, which has exposed corruption and seen that where talent is supposed to be focused on, others who get the opportunity of servitude rather divert and focus on purely enriching themselves and what they can make or who they can exploit, instead of looking at the bigger picture for the country where in situations like this, we can all proudly wear this and be that lone star and the powerhouse that everybody expects us to be. I'm not sure how big we are going to go into this, but it will be a thing for the minister when it comes back, maybe to look at going further down from coach level and start working out with the experts how to build the coach football, how to get the sports competitions amongst the secondary schools where you develop this interest into schools. There was always zonal champions, regional champions, that hunger. That's where the national teams or the local leagues also pick their people from, not just people that are available every time, maybe playing. You go to a team that you know the manager, which is what is becoming a trend, and then you get hooked up. How well are we linking our academies that are existing? How are they integrated into the framework? This goes beyond this immediate healing. I think our boys, when they came together, most people were not very hopeful at the beginning, but we all pulled together and stuck with them. It was unfortunate our last game, what happened to Senaya, who brilliantly fought his heart out. You could see the emotion and pain. Instead of focusing on his injury, you could see that he was really hurt just for the fact that he knew that he was not going to be part of that battle that could bring glory. This is where we are as a nation. When we pull together, I believe that we have the resources right here and amongst our nationals who are playing elsewhere to pull together to make this work. I was very touched yesterday when I spoke to a nephew of mine, young teenager, who just said, oh, he wants to grow up and play for Ghana so that this does not happen again. I saw another video with a junior Ayu kicking a ball. This is where we need to just create that interest, appreciate our athletes. We are too quick sometimes to pull them down instead of trying to build them up. Let's make our sports interesting again, and let's focus on the high schools and build it from there with the local tournaments. Ginger the interest, and I believe that come 4 years, come 8 years, come 12 years, we'll regain our glory and be that lone star that we are supposed to be again.
Right. Thank you so much. But in your view, what is the single biggest obstacle that prevented the Black Stars from consistently competing with the world's top football nations? Is there anything, a takeaway experience or advice that we should come and work on?
Unity. Unity and the desire for collective glory instead of personal glory. And it goes to right from selection, team building, and competitions. I don't
Before you
believe that.
continue, did they use absence? Did it in a way affected their outcome?
I'm not a football expert, but personally, I would say yes. I would say on the world stage, it is important to have our key players. Fitness counts. I'm not sure what decision or what was the premise for him not being included, but when you take just fresh faces all the time, I'll say our first two games, especially the England game, the referee unfortunately seemed very biased, and I think that FIFA should look at it. Our officials should maybe take that up and push that beyond the tournament. That same referee, I saw him with the Senegal game, and a lot of things don't add up. When you're making calls that don't benefit or do not seem consistent, you break the spirit of the players, which then ricochets onto their next games. That's a ripple effect. I do not think that Ghana, with the game that they played with England, was supposed to lose that game. That game was a win for Ghana. But the referee, with how he officiated and how he kept ignoring things that were happening to the Ghanaian players, I'm sure broke the players. When you do that, the next game they played, they're hesitant. You could see that the next game with Croatia, they did not turn up like how they turned up with England. It is very unfortunate. That takes a lot of pep room talk. That takes a lot of, morale being lifted in between the time. But you cannot erase that from playing on the mind of the players. I think our boys did great. I was not even this hopeful when they were going for the tournament, but seeing them turn up and seeing how they were attempting to make sure that they bring the glory home, I was very proud every moment they stepped on the pitch. And you can see I'm still here. Unfortunately, our white we wore a couple of days ago, staying up at that time of the night to watch the match, ended up with our morning in tatters. But I think we should pull together, just come back to the drawing board, look at the young ones straight from high school stage, and make sure that we are building with 5 year plans, 10 year plans, 15 year plans. All these countries, look at America. America did not get involved in soccer until very recently, but they have attempted to make sure they draw talent, they make their league raised it to a world standard that has people. That always gets the interest of the young people. Once the young people are interested, people try to develop their talent, and from that, you will get what you want as a team to be in competition with people. And they're our peers. I don't believe that they're superpowers that put Ghana down. Our standard has come down, our level of play has come down, and that is for the citizens, for our involvement, everything all together. When we pull together, this will work.
Okay. Still on the football. So immediately they changed the goalkeeper that was where we had to concede, because everybody was in a way thinking that the Black Stars could beat Colombia, but it turned out otherwise. Would you say that it was because of the change of goalkeeper, or we are just emotionally attached to the fact that goalkeeper Asari is the man of the moment?
Um, this might not sound. You put me on the spot and trying to get me in trouble, but we were prepared. Um, from my from my knowledge or from statistics, the keeper that was in goal is supposed to be our number one.
Okay.
Now, Asare was supposedly in place because number one was injured. The coach, I'll say as a professional and his team, probably know what they know. I would not have changed Asare, being that he had the momentum behind him and proving himself. I think bringing somebody from recovery in a crucial match could have been impactful. But the first 14 minutes of that game was very, very messy. Everything was everywhere.
Mm.
Everything was everywhere. I think it was just unfortunate that we conceded that early. I wouldn't want to take the shine away from the effort of anybody and put it on the keeper alone not being there. We had a team of men. We had a technical team. We had a coach. It was really excruciating as a fan and sportsman to be sat there watching our boys go through this. You could see they were trying. They didn't buckle down and let Colombia run over them. The match was a bit physical. I thought there were some calls that were ignored, but that could also be my emotions getting the better of me because I only wanted a single outcome, which was a win for Ghana. Now, in any competition, I always believe that on that level playing field, everybody has earned the right to be there. So you do not go in assuming that you're going to run over anybody. I was against any talk that involved it is better for us to play this team than the other team. I never believe in that. Uh, I always think that anybody who goes through the mill to be on the same stage with you, they deserve your respect. Your effort you put in on the day and how your plan comes together determines whether you win or lose. How quickly you adapt on the field to what you did not envision determines the outcome. So I am not sure on what premise we assume that we're going to run through Colombia. They're pretty much like us. They're strong, they're athletic, they're quick. You know, what was our basis? They had qualified or played the same number of matches that we had played together. From the emotional side, no. Ghana needed to be through so that today we'll be around and, laughing, sporting our jerseys outside. We'll still wear the jerseys. We'll welcome our boys when they come back. They are our brothers,
Right.
and we'll walk through the meal with them.
Okay, let me ask you this last question on football. So, for the first time, Ghanaians are not blaming the coach, because if you look at the way the Black Stars played England, it was very, very spectacular. What do you think that he did differently that every coach has to emulate?
It will be, we all know the history of this coach and how and when he came into his current office. I am sure that is the premise for which he's not being blamed. Time. Time factor was not on his side to fully probably do what he's capable of, if good way to put it. It would be extremely unfair, even though the buck starts with the leadership. I don't think that I had enough time to put a full plan in. But then again, we saw the confidence in the boys. We saw how they came together. They played England above and beyond. I still stand with the. I've watched that replay about 5 times. I believe strongly that Ghana Black Stars was hard done by poor officiating, very very poor officiating, and I don't think that this should be a matter that we should let slide. It is not about being bitter, but it is for the future that teams, when they come on equal playing field, should not at any time think that anybody would be in another team as if they are a darling boy or a superpower on a field. It's a sports field where everybody has earned the right to be there. The World Cup is about unity. It's about bringing peace and people who don't even love sports together. And the Ghana England match, I mean, it left a very, very, very sour taste in my mouth. I don't know how else to put that. I watched another game by the same referee, and I think if our officials, after we deal with the loss, watch that again, it needs to be looked at. We should not. It also builds some confidence in the team for later that somebody is believing in them and looking out for them beyond them just scoring the goals. It takes a lot for a team to rise up to the challenge and know that the whole country is with them. I mean, I'll put his name out, Said Martinez, who was the same referee that ref the Senegal game as well, with what I call the controversial last minute penalty call that VAR had to look at over 10 times. I do not want to believe that in 2026, there is subtle racism that has been spoken about in, I mean, corridors, all of that still existing in the sporting arena. But I'm not sure how you feel in the audience. I believe I will not be the only person that is having this thought about Saeed Martinez. I think he needs to be looked at, and maybe a few more games, something else about his psyche and fair play. He did not represent FIFA at that high level as should be. That is where I think I leave that. And I believe that that dented the confidence of Ghanaians or the Black Stars, and it would demoralize the team. As a sportsman, you want to know that any effort you put in fairly is recognized and contributes towards the results that is achieved. That is
Thank
what
you.
puts you on to the next place. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so let's dive right into the trendy issue or the recent flooding of Ghana. You happen to be in Ghana at the moment. What is going on?
Sorry, can you repeat your last question?
Yeah, so I'm saying that you are in Ghana at the moment, and I'm sure you've experienced the recent flooding that had devastated several communities. What exactly is going on? Can you walk us through a little bit of what really happened?
Wow. My thoughts on the flood. It is very unfortunate. First, I offer my condolences to all the families of who has victims. There was at least 13 reported dead, and it seems like the count has increased after the water has been subsided. I think we are operating around or working with a 20 figure for dead. 13 confirmed, but a few more discovered after.
Where,
To
where
all
where did we go
citizens,
wrong as a country?
where we went wrong as a country was not just this week. And I am not even attempting to politicize or go down, but as citizens, we are all responsible, one, for how we keep our surroundings. Dumping of refuse willy nilly, anyhow, it is a danger. That, in its way, is you killing your neighbor when you drink from a bottle and you put it in the gutter on the street. When you dump your refuse in a manner that you know is not appropriate. 2 days ago, somebody said to me, "Oh, it's Unibefako," like to take away, because I was driving and I saw the person just flinging a bottle by the roadside. I think there needs to be more education on things like this so that we are not taking certain things for granted. Today, you might think you're dumping only one bottle. Your bottle, my neighbor's bottle makes 3. We bring 4 more people, that's 7 bottles. That comes up and it blocks a gutter. When it starts raining, these bottles will not decompose when they're lying on concrete. It chokes, weed comes in, any other solid, and they start overflowing. They overflow, they come into your house, my house, the house of everybody. Unfortunately, you might have a neighbor that is not able to get out and run. Property is not important, things that we look for, but your life cannot be replaced. You can replace a table, any appliance in your house, but let's not contribute to our own problems. Floods can happen naturally, but there are videos going around that show so much filth that has been done by people indiscriminately, right from our markets, building on waterways, storm drains being covered. These are things that I think as citizens we need to take responsibility for. Now, as a nation, the powers that be also count. Effort made this time. The reason why maybe the outcry is huge for the disaster, but every ruling government takes glory and takes the shame when something goes wrong. The response by NADMO has been brilliant. They have attempted to be everywhere rescuing people. Unfortunately, it seems the media is not responding or reporting on all of these. Yes, it is their job to do, but we also need to encourage them by letting them know that we recognize their efforts. It is very important. Now, we go back a decade. I remember about 10 years ago or 11, the business mogul Ibrahim Mahama was dredging the Odor with his machines for free. There was a huge outcry by citizens of this country, some citizens that, oh, I say he's doing that because his brother is a president, he will be rewarded with contracts instead of thinking of the benefit of what that was doing for the collective. Fast forward, government changed hands, that was stopped. Contracts were awarded. I think it is important that we always remember where we have been and the chronology of events. There are videos where the past administration showed us the plans that they had in place for the Kole Lagoon, turning into a tourist site. A contract was, awarded, money allocated by Parliament. We also got a World Bank grant. But where did all of that leave us? No work was done. Unfortunately, by whatever design, the Minister of Sanitation, who was responsible to have been seeing or overseeing these things, got involved in a scandal that involved a lot of foreign exchange found in her house, obscene amounts. And the case got bungled up because the former president wrote a letter, my dear Cecilia, attempting to clear her even before the investigation went on. The explanation that came was that the foreign exchange, which was in euros and dollars and pound sterling, was a result of proceeds from a funeral donation. Now, this government, if it doesn't want to take this blame, much as they're putting in the work, I think it is important that there is a focus on revisiting cases that were deemed to be corruption, that were deemed to be against the state, that could be linked to this result that we are getting. Who now accounts or compensates the families who have lost people? All we know is there's a government in power now. That government can
Right.
be trying whatever they need to do, but it is
Mhm.
also important we walk back. When we walk back, we look into events and the money that was allocated, the work that was supposed to be done that has not been done. Somebody has to account for the money. Yes, the President John Mahama
Let
has
me
done
hold
very
you
well
right
by
there.
releasing 300 million.
Let me hold you
Yes.
right there before you
Yeah.
continue, sir. So back in the 90s, we had this people called the town councils. They go to the communities to ensure that your homes are clean, you dispose of your rubbish in a correct manner and all of that. Do you think the government should enforce those laws? And it only happens in the rural areas. I don't know of the urban, but I know that When on vacations, when we go to our village or when we visit our grandmothers, we keep the environment very tidy because they were always scared of these town councils, and it in a way helped. I can't remember, but this is actually one of the devastating news that we've heard where there's damage of properties and lives are being lost. So, do you think the government should enforce those laws to ensure that our environments are clean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I remember in the younger days, the metropolis, what we call AMA, KMA, they had these town councils and the staff that were going around to do these things. Now, fast forward where certain things have been privatized, the accountability has been a bit different. We can look at that, and we also need to look at the corrupt practices of our appointees and people we put in office. 3 years ago, I think in May in Washington, D.C., if I'm not mistaken, Ghana, the Ghana government at the time in 2023, when President Akufo-Addo was in office, received $150 million, which was additional financing, which was supposed to take care of over the 2.5 million people that the Odo River is supposed to access. Now, I think it's imperative, very crucial, that this government visits that. What was done with that 150 million? What was the impact of those actions? Is it that we expanded that judiciously and it didn't work and we need more money? Because it is well and good that President Mahama has released 300 million cedis now. But if that money will not surpass or will not build onto what the 150 million did, we need to look at it. What are we building up on? Was that money not used how it was supposed to be used, or are we starting afresh? Development and safety is a continuum. We cannot just be throwing money every time at a problem without holding those who are in charge of disbursing the funds accountable. It is very important that we go back to look. Whilst we are talking all the nice things about building this, putting this in place, putting that in place, who comes back to check and gets the reports and accounts to the people that the work that we promised to do, the tourist site that we promised to turn this lagoon into, that has not been done. The money was allocated by Parliament. The funds obtained from the World Bank were used for ABC, and we fell short. This is what more we need. I think that is one of our biggest problems, where people have come in office, squandered money, and used money meant for things that would help the collective for profligacy, and today we are losing the lives of innocent Ghanaians. This government has a big burden to carry. The people of Ghana did not only vote for President John Mahama to come in and do new projects. It is expected of him to hold people accountable so that people learn, and thereon in the future, that legacy will be left that when you come into office and you are in a position of servitude, you would be diligent, you would be working on that premise of this NDC party, which is probity and accountability, and serve the people of Ghana in a manner that generations to come look back and they build on it. At the minute, this government is in dire straits because they came facing a huge deficit. Everything was in tatters. I think the
But
government is not doing
government,
enough
this
by sharing
government was,
information on what they are finding.
hello, Satihoji.
Go
So
ahead.
this government was also brought in power because of what you promised Ghanaians. I mean, oral was everywhere. Everybody was eager to make sure to ensure that all these people that have been corrupted or were involved in corruption will be brought to book. But unfortunately, are you slowing down the process? What exactly is going on?
I wrote a piece about a month ago tagging the Attorney General that how he started keeping the Ghanaians informed about the cases. It needs to remain consistent. being that the citizens are not meant to struggle to find information on what is going on in terms of holding people accountable. The government is attempting to do well, but in the circles on the ground, the citizens are not happy. Citizens are not happy because they're not hearing enough of what is going on. All that was promised about this oral and all the cases, the number of cases, these people involved or people that are being chased should be named. Citizens should be kept in the loop because people know people that they think were involved, and every day we see them driving around freely. That is not a good look. Now, Iyoko released a statement that they had recovered 600 million. It's well and good for the purse of the government, but it does not satisfy the average Ghanaian who wants to know that I took 1,000 and you have taken that from me. People need to be made aware of what is going on in a manner in which it will discourage others from doing that in the future. The cases, the oral cases that are being prosecuted, they are being done, and only people that are trying to find out know what is happening. I think on that front, the government maybe needs to ramp up their effort, even though they might be swamped with a lot of work, but they need to put in that effort to make sure that at the lowest level of communication, everybody is aware that when you announce that there was money stolen from signals, there was fraud. Anytime you go to court, what is being done is put out there. Any punitive measures is put out there so that even current employees of this government will be guided by such. If not, it just becomes a competition of if Kiki has done it, I want to overdo that. So you take 1 million, I come and I take 1.1. Who suffers? The government of Ghana suffers. Projects that were abandoned a decade ago, money is being sunk into it again. The government is putting in a lot of effort to do roads everywhere you go in this region now and across the country. You see roadworks being initiated. But is that enough? It is satisfactory at a certain level. The citizens will not rest and will not forgive this current administration if prosecutions are not done in a satisfactory manner that people think is going to dissuade further politicians from coming into power and abusing state resources, amassing walls, putting up buildings all over the place, flaunting every law, all the waterways that have been built on. It is not the average Joe Bloggs that does it. When our forest reserves were mined, somebody sat down and cleared that. Somebody gave the green light for that to be done. Who were the people that were bold enough to enter the forest? It was people with the backing of the then government. We have one currently in court. Look at the flooding that's happening. These are the repercussions of actions that are not dealt with in a timely manner. These things do not happen overnight. This was a day of rain. We are in the rainy season. Today it has not rained, but this week it has rained about 4 times. Are we now saying that every time it rains, we have to suffer this? It's unfortunate. This happened 11 years ago. It happened anytime it's happened, we're suffering. We come and say very nice things. And it does not feel like the follow through has been consistent. When a development plan is put into place, we had going way back Vision 2020 that had been put in. The MPP party came into power and they threw that away. They reduced it, did not follow through with it. We are now in 2026 because at the time we thought it was so far away. Development plans are made so that people in office hold on to them dearly and focus and work towards it diligently so that the targets
I'll
are
give you
hit
one
in a manner
second to
that
finish,
elevates the
please.
state of a country. Sorry, come again?
I'll give you 1 second to finish, to wrap it up for me as we go for a quick commercial
Okay.
break.
I think NADMO needs to be commended. I think this government needs to be commended. I saw the president quickly go up in a chopper, do a tour of the site so that he's abreast with what is happening. It is a refreshing sign of leadership to see a leader that is connected and attempts to help his people. A couple of years ago, we saw a man-made flood, killing people, dislodging people, and the then president was not bothered at all. When he was finally coerced or impressed upon to visit the site, he went on to say, or he had not been voted for by the people in that area, so it wouldn't have mattered not if he visited or not. I've seen a gimmick by the running mate of the opposition party going on flood sites. Let's be sensible in what we do. Let's be focused. Let's know what the collective can benefit from and stop playing games. Let's ensure that we start with our own habits, keeping our environment clean, ensuring that when you see a neighbor doing something that is wrong that can flood and block your drainage tomorrow, let's put up on that and let's support our relief services to also do what they're meant to
Thank
do
you.
without obstruction.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Dear viewers, we will go for a quick commercial break and we will be right back.
That dream of studying and working abroad has been made much accessible to everyone, including you. So worry less about how you're going to get there because we always make it happen. This is Staffinders Ghana Limited. We offer a highly professional guidance and support system both in your university and visa application process. Staffinders Ghana Limited is a highly trusted agency of the University of the West of Scotland, one of the largest modern universities offering a range of academic, social, and sporting facilities. You can apply for undergraduate, master's and PhD in business and creative industries, education, social sciences, computing, engineering, physical sciences, health, and life sciences. Come through Staffinders, and for your studies, you get yourself a laptop or a £500 gift voucher. Call on +233 598 4888 04. WhatsApp on +44 7404 711 049. Send us an email or visit our website for more information.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Yeah, Mr. Kwedo, we want to talk a bit about the internal elections of the UK and Ireland. And I know you are still the current
Fine,
South
please.
London organizer. Can you hear me? Hello?
Hi. I missed the last
Yeah.
question.
Yes. I'm saying that I know you are still the current South London organizer. Are you contesting?
No, I am not. I didn't pick the forms.
Sorry?
I did not pick the forms for this election.
So looking back to your tenure, what would you consider your three biggest achievements and how has your brand changed since you became the organizer?
It would be unfair to claim all the glory for South London. South London, we pride ourselves to be the biggest and strongest from time of inception. So I would say I stepped into greatness that already existed. In my tenure, I contributed to fighting for liberation for the nation. We won an election and kicked out the ruling party at the time, which now is the opposition party, with a resounding victory. And they only came up with 38.2%, which has resulted in them being the minor minority in parliament currently. I dedicated my time from 2023 in May from the primaries. I was on the ground here in Ghana, campaigning right through till elections and coalition and everything. It has been a wonderful journey to be able to come in and work with people. I'll use this opportunity to also pay homage to the former organizer of South London, the late Malik Dramani Mahama. He was the organizer before my time. Unfortunately, we came to Ghana for the elections and we lost him last year post-election suddenly. His efforts over the years whilst we're in opposition cannot be overlooked, both for South London and the chapter as a whole. I pray that he's not forgotten and we remember to honor our heroes. There is a lot of unsung heroes in the ranks, and there's a lot of work that gets done in organization that cannot be spoken about in camera or is usually not discussed. But I will say that as party members, everyone should consider themselves an equal stakeholder so that when we fight for a cause, we fight wholly for that cause, arms linked, and none of our efforts should ever be put towards bringing another person down. But we should always attempt to make sure that that united front we put up and that unity of purpose, it is what drives us through. And the results, as we can see, I've been involved in the Ghana politics for a minute. I was very impressed with the effort of everybody, high, low, all ranks and file, across the breadth of the country that contributed to our win. I traveled, I'm sure I've visited more than 200 constituencies towards this campaign, and I can say that no effort by anybody can be overlooked. Those that come on the camera, those that work behind the scenes, the smallest constituency you go to, that euphoria that was there, the desire, those that take information there, our serial callers, our bloggers that do not get enough praise, fighting the internet battles on a daily basis. I think that organization, I managed to link up with a lot of bloggers, and the work they do is amazing. We hold office, but holding the office is a front. You are a representative of the people, the ability to make sure that you have all your members engaged in what is the common goal. I think that is what is my greatest effort and greatest achievement. I was able to speak to my members, both of the branch and of the chapter, and it was a pleasure to see so many of them turn up a couple of years ago for the elections.
Right. So what do you what do you believe are the biggest challenges facing the NDC UK and Ireland chapter over the next 4 years, over the last 4 years? And what opportunities should the chapter seize to become stronger?
The chapters should work together. Working together moves mountains, and we should have clear-cut goals that we chase. Unfortunately, being humans, after every election, there is a bit of a fallout where people feel they have been stepped on or ignored. Everybody is justified in what they say, but in our quest to seek that leverage or prove our point, we should not be bringing any individual down, or we should not overlook the collective goal and assume that our personal position trumps any of that. The collective goal and the position and direction of the party always supersedes what any individual thinks. It is the ideology of the party that thrives. Individuals, as we sing, cadres may come, cadres may go. The revolution staying on is that ideology that we all come around, fly the flag high, so that today I might finish speaking here and you might ring my phone in 2 hours and I wouldn't be available. It does not mean that the NDC has to crumble. We need to rally behind everybody. And to everyone that seeks for office or is in office, anything you do, do not overlook the importance of anybody. Don't overplay your hand. Put your suggestions across respectfully and with goodwill, respecting the party constitution and the rules of everyone. This will put us in a place. Our founder said this once: when we remain grounded, we will be way beyond. Our track record in this country has proven time and again that the MPP, which is the other opposition party that claims to be major, do not have anything in terms of development that can compare to NDC. The only thing that brings NDC down is when we are not united. If we remain united across the now 16 regions or across the length and breadth of the country. I cannot say that from 1992, NPP has built one regional hospital. It is not about shouting slogans and razzmatazz and launching programs that you have no plans of completing. Anybody that is watching can take any region that they hail from and just look. Water, roads, electric, basic amenities that we think help elevate the lifestyle of people, and trace who or which of these two parties brought them into power. In Ghana, from 1957 to 2016, our accumulated debt was 122 billion. In the past decade, when we had 8 years of MPP, when they were leaving office, we had over 700 billion money being borrowed. But what did they do with it that can be pointed to? It was only scandal after scandal weekly. And they put effort into attacking journalists, effort into attacking bloggers that would dare to speak the truth. But there are no significant projects that can be pointed to. The airport terminal 3 that we all use today was done in the term of the President John Dramani Mahama before he left office in 2016. We saw the e-gate scandal that happened when they tried to tweak it, spent a lot of money, and bought gates that were not working. There is a God there, there is judgment out there. The citizens of this country that are now waking up. I pray that when you make decisions going into the future, look at verifiable records, look at things that you know for sure, not just the speeches, things that you can go back and trace and know that if you want this country to go anywhere in the future, the NDC has proven and is the party to stick with. And members of the NDC should also bear this in mind and know that development of the nation trumps any personal appointment or any personal reward that you might get today. If there is a quaternary hospital that has been built by the NDC, even if you're not appointed, your family members will assess it. Quality of health care. That means that the emergency that might not have been responded to a while back, they can get seen there. The number of funerals that you attend, the chances are that that will reduce. So let's look at how we are benefiting as a unit. It is these things that make certain countries developed, where you know that the average Joe Bloggs involved in an RTA on a road will get the same treatment because the ambulance will turn up, they will be taken to a hospital, the hospital will have equipment and personnel to deal with injuries and anything that is presented to them in the manner as being in the next borough or the next county. So you don't have a super area that if you don't live in this vicinity, then you cannot get good health care. So let's pray that
Thank you.
the vision that this president has presented to us, he has the strength and the temerity and the people around him, that goodwill that we all
Right.
lag behind to be able to go forward as a country.
Right. So if you had with all you said, if you had the opportunity to introduce one major reform across all the branches, what would it be? And how would it also strengthen the chapter?
Accountability. Um, I will tag the present chair, Chairman Conrad Dumba, and also congratulate him for the good work he's been doing. There is something he mentioned in his manifesto that really caught my eye in 23. It was quarterly accounts being submitted by all branches. I think it is important that that gets looked at. Transparency builds trust. When your members know what their money is being used for, it is easy for people to donate to our cause. The politics we do in Ghana or in Africa is very capital intensive, and that live in the diaspora do not understand that because when they watch politics in the developed countries, they don't need to dish out that much. But the information to break it down, how money is being used, sometimes it's not available for them to make informed decisions and also understand what it takes or why it's justified to get X amount from them beyond them paying their dues, because the structure and that transparency is not very clear at all levels. So I think that is one thing, that is a step that I would think that it needs to be pushed. Those quarterly accounts, treasurers submitting to the chapter treasurer, and the chapter also finding a way to involve that in the breakdown or dissemination of information to the members. That way, anytime we come together for a project, it's clear cut. And I would add a caveat to that, to members, that yes, we say all of this, but it is not also everything that can be put out in the space in a manner that we demand it. So sometimes let's understand and work with the leadership, if we entrust them with positions, to take us in the direction that has been promised so far as they are adhering to the provisions of our constitution. And together we would achieve. If you have a suggestion to make and you are not in office, you can always approach whoever is in office and table your points across. The NDC now is a very, very attractive party, and there are people switching camps very, very quickly because people are beginning to see, and people
Okay. So, as we approach the internal elections, what message would you like to leave with the members of your branch and the wider NDC and UK Ireland chapter? Hello, can you hear me? Hello. Hello, Mr. Kwedo, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you repeat your last question?
Yes. So I was saying that as we approach the internal elections, what message would you like to leave with your members of your branch and the wider NDC and UK Ireland chapter? Do you have any
South
message
London
for
branch.
them?
South London branch, remain united. Let's vet people that we put in office. And this goes across to all the branches in the chapter and also for the chapter elections. And also for people that put themselves forward for positions. Please ensure that anytime you step forward, you understand the role that you want to go for. You are ready to serve and work for the people. Nobody in any of the offices should ever assume that they are a boss or a master of any of their members. You are in a position of servitude. You have been given that trust and the mandate by the people who believe that at that given time, you are the most suitable to carry the vision forward. When you come in office, do not let selfishness take over. Do not let pride and haughtiness take over and you start looking at yourself and what you can gain from the office. Do not misuse your office for personal gain. Do not tamper with funds, with records at any time for anything personal. Ensure that everything you do, the first step you take when you enter any of the NDC offices is to get familiar with the Constitution. That way, every action you take will be based on the provisions of that Constitution. With that, you can't go wrong. With collaboration with your fellow executive, you cannot go wrong. And you can deliver bad news, unpleasant news to any member if it is necessary, but with the Constitution as a premise so that everybody will be carried along that journey and be wiser or be more informed. And together it brings us in a very, very strong position to forge ahead.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kwedo. Dear viewers, we'll go for a quick commercial break, and then when we come back, we will wrap up. Stay with me. Please don't go anywhere.
Every Black person should please remember that you were Africans before you became anything else.
Revolve is a media technology company that specializes in providing music, entertainment, and lifestyle content from around the world. It is driven by a mission to offer the best music, entertainment, and lifestyle experiences for a global audience, as well as a vision to become the foremost global provider of music and entertainment content with a focus on Africa and Black communities across the world. We curate content and personalize recommendations based on user consumption habits, and is well positioned to capture the growing demand for African music and entertainment content. Revolve appeals to both the underground and mainstream audiences who are interested in African music, entertainment, and lifestyle, and the Black culture movement, with a target audience of ambitious, creative, aspirational, social media savvy, ethical, sociable, yet independently minded individuals. Our platforms allow users to access a diverse range of music and lifestyle related content, including news, videos, gossip, performance series, podcast conversations, documentaries, festival content, artist reviews, and many more through the following categories and brand names: RV Daily, RV Unmute, Vibes Up, Reveal, Verve, and Revolve Plus.
Thank you for staying with us and welcome back. So this is where we draw the curtain on Conversation Beyond Borders. Today we looked at the recurring challenge of flooding in Ghana, the ongoing debate around the performance and future of the Black Stars. And we also touched a bit on the internal elections of the UK and Ireland chapter. Our thanks to Mr. Kudo for joining the conversation and sharing his perspective. These issues remain critical in national development and also public concern. Thank you for watching. We will see you in the next edition. See you same time next week, and invite a friend to invite a friend. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night.
You've been gone, it's an empty home. Come on back where you really belong. You are always welcome home, welcome home. You've been kept down for much too long. Stand up, please, say I am free. Don't forget